The Joe Danger Show, guys. This is podcast number 4 with my buddy Chad Patti. He is a native to the Florida Panhandle and an absolutely insane free diver and spear fisherman. Had the privilege of diving with Chad a couple times, and
no, I suck.
He's pulled some fish out of the rigs for me in some murky water. Chad's also a free dive instructor, so if you're in the area, make sure to reach out to Chad. And when he's not underwater, he is on the water as a rig mechanic for a geotechnical vessel, which I believe you guys travel kind of all over the Gulf and do oil things or search for oil. And so it sounds like a pretty adventurous job. I know you've been caught in some big storms and had some crazy experiences.
Yeah, we work all over the world.
Yeah, so super interesting career. Maybe we can touch on that a little bit later in the podcast. But I still got to go on the intro here. So I actually, Chad, the first time I ever saw or heard about you, I think was the video of you getting attacked by a Mako shark, which is one of the gnarliest videos I've seen. It comes and bites your fin off as you're on the surface. So we can definitely talk about that. And Chad is also recently the owner of the Southeast Spearfishing tournament, so we'll touch on that. So did I miss anything?
No, man, it covers it, sums it up well, and kind of overplayed it there a little bit.
No, man, there's a handful of divers that I'm like are just in another league. You're one of them. My buddy Danyar, who we had on, he's another guy. But yeah, shooting fish at 140 feet is just insane. Going for a 180-foot dive, which we're gonna film that this winter. So that's gonna be wild.
I'm gonna throw that out there, so you can't. No, I gotta do it now.
Now you can't back out.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Well, I appreciate you joining us. As always, I give every guest a gift. So I'm gonna mail this to you tomorrow. But this is one of my favorite books. It's called The River of Doubt. About Teddy Roosevelt. After his final term as president, he actually went with his son to the River of Doubt in the Amazon rainforest and went about 1,000 miles up a river no one's ever been before besides the natives. A couple of people died on the trip, but he ended up making it out and, losing like 50 pounds, getting malaria, but just an absolutely crazy book. Super good read. And then I also have some hats straight from China. This is prototype number 1 Joe Danger Show hat. So we're gonna send them your way tomorrow.
I love it.
Heck yeah.
Thank you.
All right, man. Let's hop right into it. So how did you get started with free dive spearfishing?
It's done it my whole life for the most part. Ever since I was a kid. I just didn't realize it was a thing for the most part, but family friends had a house in Port St. Joe, and we used to go down there all the time, and you always snorkel and shoot the shit in the bay and
sheephead.
Everything. Shoot the shit. Yeah. Just mullet, sheephead, flounder. Shot a king one time in like 8 foot of water with a yellow pole spear. Just held on to it and rode it around in a circle, and mom and freaking everybody's freaking out, screaming at me, yelling like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yelling like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And just shot like a 30-pound king. 8 foot of water.
And then from there, you were probably hooked, and then you went from, at least I feel like everyone, they start on docks, then they go to a little bit deeper on bridges. Next thing you know, they're going to a little shallow reef. Next thing you know, you're diving wrecks in 80 foot.
Pretty much. Like, started out, everybody's scalloping, and I see a yellow pole spear in the freaking corner, and I'm like, what's that? I'm like, oh yeah, we use it to shoot flounder. I'm like, how does that work? Show me how it works. It's fiberglass all messed up, and I'm as a kid just grabbing a raw fiberglass. God knows how old. My hands are all fucked up, but I'm still shooting mullet. Just not giving a crap. Just keep blasting mullet. I mean, everybody looking at me crazy. I got a bag full of mullet on my hip, and everybody's holding scallops.
Smoked mullet, man. It's some good eats.
Yeah, I'm holding them all. Like, hey, mom, look at this, and it's just slap full of mullet, and I've killed them all. It's just, what are we doing?
Yeah, and then did you ever do any scuba diving, or was it kind of all free diving?
Yeah, I dabbled in scuba diving when I got out of the Navy. So like I used to I see free dive, 30, 40 feet as a kid. And then I joined the Navy. A buddy got into scuba diving, and so I got scuba certified. And then I did a little scuba diving for NOAA. But if we back up, watched a French diver do that fall into the blue hole, and in 2012, I think, no, 13. And about the time I was playing around with scuba diving, I saw him do it. I was like, I think I can do that. I've sprinted 50 meters underwater, sprinted in a competition, 50, 75 meters while swimming.
Yeah.
If he can do that and I can sprint it, I think I can do that. And then that's kind of where deep diving started. And that's where I started playing in the 60, 70, 80, 90 foot range. And before I even knew free diving was a thing.
And now you're shooting fish at 140.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Which is just, for those listening, that's holding your breath, going down 140 feet, hunting for a fish, shooting it, getting control of the fish, and then kicking 140 feet back to the surface. So, I mean, I think my deepest trigger pull is probably like 94 feet, and I can't even imagine going another 50. That's wild. But I know you got an insane fishery where you live, and I know the fishery is great. I also think you have some unbelievable spots and, artificial small wrecks that just about, and you seem to clean up. And I think, don't want to speak for you, but your specialty seems to be just giant red snapper. I mean, all sorts of other fish, but the red snapper I've seen you shoot are just gargantuan. Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm known for, is just big snapper. I stay in the area, or the guys that dive with me, they all come to the area, and it's what I'm known for putting people on. I think this year I got 3 over 30. I've shot 2, and I put my buddy on 1. He won. I think he's going to win. He won 1 tournament with it. He might win another one. And then I put another buddy, his first snapper over 50 feet was like 28.5 pounds. And then
what's the state record for American red snapper in Florida?
I don't know. I think it's like 42 pounds, I think, on all class rod and reel. But
then there's a pole spear record.
Pole spear's 26. So I got some funny stories on that one.
Maybe this fall or winter when we dive together, you go for the record on a pole spear.
Yeah, so I've done it twice. The 28, I was telling you about, buddy's deepest dive, first dive over 50 foot, and he shot at the 28.5. I actually was kind of calling her in with a pole spear, and I had the pole spear loaded, ready, watched him shoot her, and then she went in the coop beside me, and his shaft came out, and then I stoned her inside the coop. And then the following trip, we go back out, and the 30-pounder my buddy shot, I'd missed. With a pole spear, I just missed a big one. She was just playing cat and mouse, and I let it fly just a tad too soon. I missed. And then so we go to the next spot, and we both dive. We're just trying to get meat at this point. We're just like, hey, we're both going to shoot fish. If there's multiple there, we're just going to bang, bang, and come up, try to throw meat in the boat. And we go down, and we don't see each other. I'm on his left. He's on my right. And I see the snapper come out of the pyramid. And so I grab the top of the pyramid, and she goes back in it, and she goes to come back out, and I line up, and I go milliseconds away from letting it fly, and I hear thump. I just watch the shaft hit him in the side of the head, and I'm like, oh no! Come up. I was like, you didn't even see me, did you? He goes, no, I just saw the fish, and that was it. Like I wanted her. I knew I didn't want to let the other, because the other one, the other big one in the last spot had just gotten away. He's like, no, I just wanted to land it. And I said, dude, I was this close to letting it fly. We get back on the boat. It's a giant, and then we go back to the dock, and we're weighted on a drag scale for bill fishing, and it's saying like 30 on the money, just over 30.
So that would have been the state record on the pole spear.
That would have been the world record on the pole spear.
World record.
And then he goes to the tournament, weighs it in. This is the next day he weighs it on ice, and it's 30 on the money. Like, all right.
Well, hey, this winter we're gonna get that world record on the pole spear.
I hope so. I'm gonna put in a few days on it for sure.
Yeah, so it's super interesting diving, this area in the northern Gulf. There's when Chad is talking about coops, they're actually chicken coops that are legally sunk, and they create an incredible habitat. They hold a bunch of bait, and then, from my experience, that area, it's like sand everywhere, and then there'll be a coop, and then there'll just be life everywhere. huge mangrove snapper, big red snapper, gag grouper. I saw, what was it, last weekend? You and Tyler cleaned up on some big red snapper and gags, which is some good eating fish right there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And we'll put up some photos of the red snapper, because they are, I mean, I've seen, we get some big ones here in St. Pete, but the ones you get are like, when I saw them in person, I'm like, what in the world? They're enormous. So super cool. And then I know you clean up on cobia up there, and also in the winter, some big wahoo, which I'm excited to dive with you and try to shoot some of those.
Yeah, the wahoo are very cyclical. Every so often, you can time them down to a specific time frame of which years they're going to come in. We're getting about to that point where they're starting to come back. And like I said, to me, it's all, I've been fishing for a long time, and you got a certain time frame. I say time period that you'll get them for a year, real heavy, real thick. Everybody's catching them, and they'll go away for a few years and they'll come back. Yeah. And then, they'll be super hot and heavy. This year, we've already seen a few. We've gotten a few reports of people seeing them. I know a few have been caught. I think they've caught a few 90s already this year.
Wow.
So, like I said, I'm hoping it's either going to be this year or in the next few years, they're going to come back hot and heavy, and it's going to be.
Yeah, it's a good sign if they're showing up now.
Yeah. Normally, so we had a big blue water push this past week. We got blue water all the way up to the beach, basically. That trip we went on Tyler, we were actually riding the back of the boat looking for spots, and just looking down, hanging off the back of the boat.
Top to bottom?
Yeah, it was 60 feet, and the guy on the back of the boat with me was like, hey, there's a snapper, and he dove down and shot like a 20-something pound snapper. He saw it from the boat and didn't even see structure, just saw her cruising the sand and made a dive on her. She spun around and looked at him and tried to dip, and he ended up landing.
Man, that's the best. I was going to dive this weekend here locally, and it was 2 to 3 foot seas. The visibility had been terrible, super sharky, and I'm just getting kind of old for it. But there's nothing better than when you get out there and it's glass and top to bottom. Such a good feeling.
What we were that whole trip of tile we were hoping for. We knew there was going to be some murk out deep, which we had. I mean, we started 110, and to the top 60 it was clean, and after that the water warmed up 5 degrees, and it was just brown snot
on the bottom.
Yeah, I punched it once I did a little dive to 85. And the bull sharks are horrendous around here right now. Yeah. So I'm not trying to go crazy, especially with the bad viz on bottom. I wasn't trying to do anything stupid, but I did a couple dives to 85. I did a few to 80 and 185, and I could still never see sand at 105, 110. I was like, yeah, there's no point in.
Yeah, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, if I can't even make out structure and or sand at that point, I can't even see the shadow of the structure or anything. There's no point in going deeper, especially with ripping current up top. And again, we'd already had run-ins of 4 sharks at that point. So they're fired up on the surface. If they're rushing you in blue water, don't dance with them in murky water.
Yep. So what's your biggest wahoo you've shot in that area?
I haven't shot it. Biggest one I've shot is only 50 pounds. I've seen a few hundreds. And then the biggest one I've seen shot was mid-70s.
Okay.
There's been a few landed in the mid-70s on spear, a lot of them in the 50s and the 40s.
Yeah. I mean, a 50-pound wahoo, that's an incredible fish.
Yeah. So I think my biggest one's 52. No, I don't know what the biggest one.
I mean, I see you've shot a lot of wahoo up there. It's pretty it's a cool fish.
Yeah, I mean, that all those were shot in one of those good years where you could go out, and we got fads. What's up, Bubba? How you doing? Sorry, dog just walked in. We got obviously the Okaloosa fads. They come in and they get on those real heavy, and it looks like Costa Rica or Mag Bay where there's walls of wahoo, and the only difference is it's 2,000 foot of water.
Yep.
So and again, that's very rare for wahoo to get that deep. If you go look at all these other countries, Mag Bay, even Costa Rica, you're in a few hundred feet of water, or 300, 400, 200 feet of water.
Yeah, Key West, anywhere from 100 to 200.
Yeah, and where we're at, where we find most of them, or not find most of them, where you find the congregations of them are in that 2,000 foot of water,
way offshore. Yeah,
one piece of structure, and then they congregate on it. and I don't know if they're migrating or what's going on, but yeah, now here in the winter, we find the giants in close on wrecks, or just like one of the biggest ones I've ever seen was on a chicken coop, 60 foot of water. Looked up and was like, that's
a wahoo.
A dinosaur staring at me.
Yeah, you never know. They just kind of pop out when you least expect them.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, just from all the photos you sent me, like, I mean, big wahoo, big cobia. It seems like you kind of got those figured out.
Yeah.
Huge red snapper. And I know recently you're shooting like mutton snapper and black grouper and cubera. And I think a lot of that is because you're going so deep where a lot of people just, can't get to. And you got great spots.
I wouldn't necessarily say depth. I think it's the it's knowing the fishery, knowing where to go and when to go is the biggest thing. Because a lot of these fish I'm shooting are inside 100. I think like my deepest trigger pull on the cobia this winter was a little over 100, but I mean you could have shot it from 90, right? Depending on the gun you have. But I just wanted to make sure I had a good holding shot on it because of the depth. Right, I didn't want to have to deal with, or actually, I wanted to place a crippling shot on it, not even a holding shot, because I didn't want to dance with it next to the wreck and all that stuff. But
shoot a lot of these fish, head and get them up to the surface. Yeah,
that's it. Just I don't want to. You're wearing a 5 or 7 mil suit, and you got a lot of weight on you, and or not really weight. You're real encumbered, with all that neoprene on you, and I didn't feel like dancing with him, so I figured I'd just wait a couple more seconds, get a little closer. But muttons and blacks, that's knowing when to go and where to go, right?
Yeah. So when you told me you're seeing them up north, I was surprised, but we'll have to put some clips of some of your deep dives. They're wild. And then you said last weekend you had a chance at a big cubera.
I did. I shot it right to the side of the head. A lot of guys up here having problems of like not penetrating them. I got lucky and had him dead to rights. This was actually in Louisiana. But yeah, I happened to see him at about 100, and I thought it was a big, like 60-pound gag. He was sitting there looking just like a grouper, just staring at me with his fins out, just, what's up? He rolled out, and as soon as he rolled out, I saw the yellow in his fin, the tips of his fins, and like, then you could see like the actual scales, grouper. You really can't see. You see the color of the grouper, but I could see his scales, and I could faintly see lines because he kind of rolled out towards the sun. Sun's shining like this way. He rolls out, and I'm back here behind. And he went behind the leg like a junction, and going right to left. And I immediately went around left, and instead of coming straight over the top, I came around the side for the most part. And as soon as I poked through, I came through with the gun held back, came through head and gun about the same time. And oh shit. As soon as he saw me, he kind of like froze, put a good shot right behind the eye, a little behind the brain. Still, it was in the skull for sure. I stunned him, his mouth opened, and he kind of like was dazed. Got a hold of shooting line and started kicking up. And as soon as I started kicking up, he woke up, dragged me down probably like 5-10 feet, and then went underneath the leg. And I felt him go underneath the leg, and he tried to go around another leg, but he couldn't. And I think the shaft was hitting, and so I immediately put the brakes on him and was fighting him. And I remember looking at my watch, and I'd come up 5 feet from the time because he dragged me back down, and I heard my alarm go off for 100.
And you're at 100 feet doing all this?
Yeah, like I heard my alarm beat at 100, right? Because I got alarms for 33, 66, 100, and 132.
Yeah.
And so I heard the third alarm go off. And so I was like, I know when I pulled the trigger, the alarm didn't go off. Right. And then so when I shot him, he dragged me down. I heard the alarm, started kicking. Yeah. And then, like I looked at my watch and I was sub 100. I was, north of 100 at that point. And so I was like, I'm making headway. I'm actually beating this fish. I'm just going to keep kicking. And hopefully Tyler sees this because this is gonna be the one time that you're going to catch me coming close to blacking out. And I said, this is it. Like, I'm at 100. He's going to get tangled up.
How big do you think this fish was?
I have no idea. I've never landed one, never seen one in person. So I
mean, probably 60, 80 pounds in that zone.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I lost him. It cut the shooting line. First time I've ever seen 1.9 Dyneema break. So it cut.
Yeah, I mean, for those listening, cubera, they're the king of the reef. I think they're think it's probably dogtooth tuna are the hardest, most challenging, most rewarding fish you could spear. And then I would say big cubera are probably number 2. I mean, I've seen a lot of big cubera. I think I've only killed one 40-pounder. I've shot a couple where I thought, oh, I got this guy, and it just bounced right off their skull. They got these monster scales. And then even if you do make a good shot, they're just so tough and they'll wrap you up. They'll break your line. So super fun fish to chase.
They're the white whale, the Northern Gulf. Like, you got guys from, early 2000s that are free diving, and even the 1990s talking about it up here. Like, that's their goal, is the cubera.
Yeah.
Then not the little ones, because little ones are great. They're rare, but when you see those big ones, they really are intimidating.
Yeah, they got the big fangs, and they're cool fish, man. I mean, the tournament we dove together last summer, the guys with, I think it's Free Spirit, they shot that
96,
90, yeah, it was like 96 or 99 pound. I think Anthony Powell, I was drawing a blank, but I mean, just a monster, perfect shot, top of the head, like unicorned him. But yeah, man. So we'll pop in some of the videos of your dives, and so people can watch. But I mean, I just love watching your footage, because I mean, I love watching my footage when I'm at like 70 and there's an AP or a gag. But then when you're at like 130, it's just really cool to see the structure and the different fish species and all that.
I got a good video of a cubera that I'll send you on a wreck up here. And you can kind of see the one I shot last weekend was bigger than this one. And I ended up not shooting this fish. It's actually on my YouTube channel, because you can't see him in the video. This fish comes in.
What's your YouTube channel?
That Guy Dives. So
talk us through that video, and we can we'll play it as you talk. So you go down. I think you saw 2 cubera.
Saw 5 total. I don't know exactly. I counted 5, but I punched through a little bit of murk, and it wasn't even bad. You kind of see the wreck, and I saw remora stuck to the side of the fish, and it was a little remora, like this big. Yeah. And I've seen him do that to big red snapper. And I was like, damn, I started counting them. Was like, that's a bunch of gag. That's some big gag. Like, those are nice. And then I get to like 50 feet, and I like, oh shit, that's a snapper. And then I see stripe, like from the top, you can kind of see the stripes. And I immediately bailed and was like, yeah, I'm going up. Like, gonna let everybody know that, hey, get your blue water stuff, get your big guns. Like, there's giant cubera here, and they didn't see me. We're good. Yeah. We reset, and on this video is the first dive where we reset, and me and a buddy dove together, like on top of each other, basically, because we know if they get holed up or they get in these wrecks, there's so much fishing line, and the specific wreck we're on is like 3 stories deep. There's 3 different levels to it, and like to get in the 3rd level, it's basically completely sealed off, but on the ends. So you would have to go the top of the wreck, the middle level, and then the 3rd level. You have to go through the middle level all the way to the edge of the wreck, down, and then in, which they've known to. I've seen them do that before, and I've seen them hide, like on the ends is where they like hiding. So we dove together to try to, like, if one of us stuck it, right, and we could put the brakes on it long enough for the other guy, to get over there and get a second shaft in it. And then again, it's something we were trying for the first time ever. And anyways, we go down. You can't really make them out in the video, but to my right, there's the giant. I don't know. It's the biggest snapper I've ever seen in my life. I saw him later on. I saw him 2 trips later, really close. But and then I see we're looking around, and then the smallest one of the 5 comes up into frame, and he's, I don't know how big, but there's a 40-pound gag next to him, give or take. I can size that fish. I've shot him, and I'm looking at him going, that's a giant. That's a big snapper. And I end up not shooting it. And he's within 7 feet. You can count the scales on the side of his body with a GoPro video. That's how close he is.
And you just knew if you shot, you weren't gonna have a chance to land him.
I knew I wasn't gonna get a chance at the big one. Because it's like, I mean, there's 5 there. The smallest one came in and like 5 feet. So it's
okay. That's right. And I've seen that video. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you shoot this guy?
And the smaller one was not that small.
No, I'm gonna say he's 50, 60 pounds, if not.
Yeah, but you were going for the beast. I mean, I've seen a cubera snapper come up from 250 feet on a wreck on the East Coast and eat my buddy's wahoo he had speared. I have that video. I mean, like,
I want to go to that.
It was 100. I know people are gonna be like, I'm crazy. It was easily 120 pounds, easily. I think maybe 150, and it ate a 30-pound wahoo in one bite.
Yeah, I always was like, yeah. So now that I've seen them up close, because I've always talked shit. Like, you see them in a distance, you're like, yeah, I'll shoot it. I'll just let it fly, whatever. I had a chance this year in June. Yeah, June. I had a chance at one at 130, and I just didn't take it. So I was sitting at 115. I think I was sitting at 115, and I hadn't seen the school. I'd seen one or two since then, but there's a school of them that hang out. And I go down and I hit the structure at like 100, and I look up and I see them all just right there. I'm like, oh, and they all kind of see me at the same time. They dive down to like 130, and one of them, the biggest one, kind of turns and looks at me, and I'm like probably 30 feet away from it, and I'm sitting, we're like this, and so I sink down. I get probably, I say he's probably 40 feet away from me, because I get down to about 20 feet, and I mean the dude's this wide, like I mean he's giant, and I'm looking at him head on, and I mean I'm extended. I got 4 bands on the gun. I'm ready to rock and roll, and I'm sitting here like, I got nothing for this fish. In all reality, like, it's 180 feet to the sand. What do you like? I'm gonna shoot this fish at 130. I've never dove past like 150 something. So how do I plan to recover this?
You're on a reel gun?
Yeah, I'm on a reel gun.
Yeah, I mean, you almost have to have a flow unless you make a perfect shot.
And that's what I'm looking at.
Or if you're on a rig and you shoot him and you hope he wraps you up. But
yeah, that was my thing. I chose not to shoot.
Probably a good move, because I haven't seen many huge Cubera get stoned. But
no, we've had guys that have shot a couple, and they've shot them with these little dink guns, and they've taken Hail Marys. Like, they got one scale, and then another one pulled out, like where they're not. I don't think he punctured really. He hit it, and the shaft just kind of bounced off for the most part. I heard him hit it in the side, and then so there. After seeing him,
you're gonna get your chances, man. You're gonna get that big dog.
I'm hoping this next season coming up, or is this some tails off? I'm hoping to get another couple opportunities at them. Like I said, I got a really good opportunity to see one like extremely close up front, and they're intimidating as all get out when they're like 5 feet from you, staring at you, lit up. Oh
yeah. And last thing I'll say about Cubera is typically you get that one chance. Like, if it's your first dive, and then they're like, hey, I'm the alpha on this wreck, and they'll actually come up to you and check you out and be like, hey, what are you doing? Yep. And then they're like, uh-oh, this guy's trying to shoot me, and they're smart. So then, from my experience, like, you see them once, and they're gone.
So the day I shot the black grouper and some of the muttons.
Do you have a video of that black grouper shot?
I do not, actually. I wasn't wearing the GoPro. I wasn't expecting much. We'd hit this wreck a few times, and so I was actually taking Doc Alfred Cardette. He's a legend in the community up here down south, like in Miami area. Everybody knows him, but I was like, hey, I know where some muttons are, and let's go get them. He said he loved muttons, so we ended up getting out there, and I'm letting them dive first for the most part. Him and Joe Daggs, one of my a guy I teach with, he's kind of like my mentor. I'm letting them dive, and I told him I'm not shooting muttons. I'm just looking for Cubera. And like, Doc shoots one, it tears off. Joe shoots one, he lands it, and then Joe shoots a second mutton, and it gets tangled up on the sand, and like, he runs out of reel line. I end up clipping my belt reel to it and coming up. So I go to recover a shaft, and I look up, and there's a 150-pound Cubera looking at me, like less than like a double an arm reach distance away, just lit up. I can see it looks like a T-Rex looking at you. Like, I mean, he's straight up, fins out, teeth, like, just mouth kind of open so you can see the bottom teeth. You can see the top teeth, that and you're just like, I'm sitting at 100+ feet. I got my guns leaned up, like, against the wreck, and I'm just like, I got shooting line in one hand, and I'm literally just like, what do I do? Like, I mean, he's 5 feet from me. His eyes are this freaking big. Just what the? I mean, I start like, I'm getting nervous now at this point. Like, if he bites me, I'm screwed. Like, I really am. Like, I'm screwed. It looks like a T-Rex looking at me. And I grab my gun. As soon as I like make the gun move, he rolls out like 20 feet, edge of the wreck, staring at me. I'm like, all right, do I make a move on him, or do I just untangle the shaft, reset, and try again? And I chose to reset and try again, which is kind of a good move because as soon as I removed the shaft, he rolled back even further and like stuck his head out of the wreck. So I landed him. And then 2 dives later, I ended up landing the black. I pulled the
well, man, you know where these fish are, and typically if they're there once, they'll be there again. Go back to the float line and I got the kinetic 5-band back there. Maybe I'll bring that this our winter trip.
Bring it.
Well, man, let's give the people what they want. You got to tell us about the Mako shark attack.
Oh boy.
What?
It's a fun one. For those who don't know, obviously got hit by a Mako. I think one of 3 recorded like active predatory strikes on humans. Per the Natural History Museum of Science, they're the ones that monitor the shark attacks. And I was hunting wahoo middle of January 1st, 2023, actually.
Wow.
How
far offshore? Probably 30, 40 miles.
70.
Okay, so you're way out there. Okay.
70 miles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
70 miles in a 21-foot boat.
Okay, and how big was this Mako? I mean, I guess you can only see the video, but it looked like every bit of 12 to 13 feet.
I don't know. I kind of looked at the video and looked at the fin and like the diameter of her bite, like where she had it. I think she had like a 12-inch bite, like I say diameter would be. So like however big of a Mako that is, I don't know. I got old salt scientists. Everybody says something different. I've heard 8 foot to 12 foot. So anywhere from
either way, that was a huge
over 1,000. Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's crazy. It was like 100 foot of his. No, I wasn't 100. It was probably 80, 60. Yeah. Every bit of 60 foot of his easily. You could see a diver. You could see everything on the diver at 60.
And so were you just on the surface breathing up?
No, I'd actually surfaced from a dive. And this was crazy. Did a dive to like 40. We weren't practicing good dive. We weren't practicing good really dive practices. We were kind of spread out. And so I was taking it really easy. I was doing dives like 40 foot, real short dives too. Like just basically recovering a flasher, throw a flasher, long breathe up, just basically straight down to 40, grab the flasher, cut a 360, come up.
Just looking for wahoo. Yeah.
Yeah. Keeping it real simple. Obviously we don't have we have safeties, but they're a ways away. Right. And so realistically, like you don't have somebody there watching you, so no need to push it. But I did a dive, and we said it was our last dive of the day, last drift for the most part. And I come up, heads out of the water for like 18 seconds and some change. And I'm actually swimming towards the boat when she hits me. I'm asking, I'm saying, are we going to make another drift? And I get the R out of my mouth, and I get hit in my right rear quarter. Never saw her coming. Never even knew she was there.
And it ripped the fin off your foot, right?
Oh yeah. Completely ripped the fin off my foot, cut it in half, and like almost knocked the wind out of me. Knocked the gun out of my hand. Knocked my mask. Broke the seal on my mask, so I had like that much water in my mask, so I couldn't see shit. Eyes were burning from salt water. It's great. Just 10 out of 10 would not recommend that.
Oh man! And did you get your fin back?
No, the thing's sitting in 2,000 foot of water.
Okay, I was gonna say. So it comes in, rips your fin, bites your fin, rips it off, and it also like you got like burned on your leg, right, from the shark's skin.
I got a bruise. So Yeah, so Makos, they use their fins and their skin to like rip the flesh off of their prey if they miss, right? So they come in really fast, and they'll come in and they'll swipe, and if they miss, they'll ram the fish with their fins to just tear flesh.
Yeah, rip all the scales off of
Yeah, because they go for the motor. So like an 8-foot Mako or even a 6-foot Mako will attack a 1,000-pound marlin if it has the opportunity, right? And all it's trying to do is bite its tail. And then if they can get it bleeding and, kind of like cripple it, it'll slowly just let it die and follow it. And so it's kind of what it did to me is it as I'm kicking, it basically came up and snatched a fin. And then she turned real hard because she like basically rolled on me, or like basically hit me and rolled over. And so she was, again, using her fin, and her pec fin made perfect contact from like my knee to my ankle. And so I had a bruise on like the side of my shin for like through a 5 mil wetsuit where she had hit me, and I had a bruise and pretty much a rolled ankle almost. So again, I had a bruise for like 2 days on my leg from her
man.
Fin.
And I mean, if that shark had actually got a hold of your foot or your calf, I mean, and you're 70 miles offshore, I mean, you're getting medevaced out of there.
I'm not making it. We talked about it. I wouldn't be here today. I have my inReach was dead. We had no radio, and all we had was iPhone SOS, and it had just come out. It was like less than like 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about. Like, what are we doing here? We're 2.5 hours from the launch.
Yeah. Well, good learning experience, and you dodged a bullet, but that's one of the gnarlier videos I've ever seen. I mean, I think the scariest shark in the water for me would be a big great white. Like diving in California the whole time in murky water, I'm like, man, the captain of the boat I was diving with, I'm like, so you guys see a lot of great whites here, I'd imagine? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, when was the last time you saw one? He's like, 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, where? And I'm thinking he's going to be like, 20 miles south, or we were all, and he's like, right there. And I'm like, oh, this is right where we're about to hop in. And I'm like, what was it like? What was it doing? He goes, oh, it breached to eat a sea lion. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. That's reassuring. I'm like, how big was the sea lion? He's like, probably 800 pounds. I'm like, how big was the shark? He's like, probably 15 feet. He's like, but yeah, there's a lot of like yellowtail down there. Good luck. So I think
they can stay down there.
Yeah, I would say great whites are the one shark I don't want to see. I think Mako is equally like high on the list of sharks you do not want to see.
No, they're demons. They have black eyes. They're weird.
I think they're the fastest shark in the ocean, right? Or
fastest fish.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
they're outrun everything.
We're gonna I'll put a little we'll figure out what their max speed is and put it in the video here. But yeah, that's crazy, man. So I was talking to Tyler the other day, and we're like, man, I don't know if we want to dive with Chad anymore. Every time he dives, like he's getting like almost eaten by sharks. So I know you had the Mako encounter, and then I think I called you a month ago, and you had an encounter with a big great white in Pensacola. And I know Tyler had also had an encounter 2 years ago, I think with you, and he saw a 15-foot great white. So like a lot of people are seeing great whites.
And they're getting more and more curious. Yeah, like Tyler, Ian did a dive, and Tyler was a safety, and Ian goes down and he comes right back up, and he's kicking for dear life, and he's got his guns like holding his gun down between his legs, and I was like, is he all right? And then Tyler tells the story way better. And then all of a sudden he sees the nose come up, and he goes, oh, that's a shark. Oh, that's a big shark. Oh, like that's a big one. And then she comes up to like 15 feet and just levels off and cuts a circle and leaves. Followed him up from like 60 foot. And then that was
Tyler said that great white he thinks was actually eating like 6 and 7 foot spinner sharks, was actively hunting them.
Me and him talked about it because we roll up, and every spring, you get like, you might get tuna come in, but you'll get like the small yellowfin will come in, like I say 100-pound max. And very rarely, but they'll follow pogies. When the pogies get pushed over from the west, from like the Mississippi Delta, like the tuna are pushing them from Mississippi all the way through Alabama, they'll end up by us, and then you'll get yellowfin on them. We're running out, and we kept seeing whitewater, and we're like, the fuck is that? Like, what is it? And so we make a run to it, and we're like, okay, it's sharks. Whatever. It's still spinner sharks. We don't care. So we go back to the wreck, and we start diving. Buddy Lance does a dive, and he's like, hey, there's African pompano. I'm like, all right, cool. That's what we're after. We're after African pompano.
Okay.
And I do a dive. When I do a dive, I look up, and I like 50 feet, I start seeing spinners, and they're like sardines packed together. I mean, just like not even cycloning. They're keeping their distance, but they're, I mean, top to bottom spinners. And I get down to like 70 feet, and I'm like, there's a few hundred of these things, and they are tight. Something don't feel right.
They're being hunted.
Do what?
They're being hunted.
Oh yeah, like they had them tight. I bet there was a few whites working them. But I get up and I say, anybody see a shark? She's like, Lance, like, yeah, I saw one or two. You know, they were smaller, like 5-6 footers. I said, you didn't see them. He's like, no, I just a couple. I said, all right. Ian does a dive, nothing. Tyler does a dive. I said, yeah, I saw a few spinners. All right. Lance does a dive, shoots an African pompano. And it's taking, I mean, it's spooling in pretty good. And I do a dive and I'm fighting it, and the spinners come back by. And I'm at 40 feet, you know, playing with reel line, trying to get it up. And I look over, I'm like, they're tight, like tight. Like you couldn't swim between them if you tried. I mean, they're this far apart.
Yeah.
And I get on the boat, and, you know, we get the African pompano taken care of on the boat. It wasn't really a big, like, hard fight. And I was like, they should have eaten it. You know, if there's that many of them, they should, like, something should have eaten it, right? I just saw a few hundred sharks. Like, why didn't they? This is flopping fish. Ian does a dive right after that. Like, we get the fish on the boat, and we're just, you know, it's in the box, and we're just reeling up his line. And sure enough, he comes up, and that's when they said Tyler said, I think it's a Mako. And Ian's like, no, that's a great white. And that's what Tyler said.
Ian saw it too.
Oh yeah, Ian saw it. He said it like 60 feet, and he's looking around. He's prepared to see, like, we always have bull sharks and stuff. So he's prepared to see a bull, and he looks over and he's like, "There's a shark." No, that's a big shark.
Yeah, and Tyler's not one to exaggerate, and he was like, "Man, it was every bit of 15 feet."
Oh, dude, like yeah. I saw it shadow from the boat and was like, nope, let's go ahead and get out of this deep water. We're going to go to that 70 to 80 foot range.
So that was what, last summer. And then this summer you got charged by a great white.
Yeah. In June, actually.
Okay.
Like the same trip I saw the giant cuberos on that wreck. And we had seen them. We'd gotten out. We were recovering. And dolphins were around here and there. And I said, hey, guys, I'm going to punch one. And the guy was at 130. I finally got the courage. I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to shoot him, and I'll deal with it. I'll just go ahead and prepare to make however deep a dive I got to make. I get to like 80 feet, and something said, hey, look up. And I looked up, and I saw this white object. I could barely make it out at the edge at the distance, and it was like this.
It was pretty murky, right?
Yeah, there was a murk layer like 50, like surface to 50 was kind of hazy. And then after that, it opened up, but it was dark. It was overcast all day. But like I'm like right at the edge of that murk, or I'm past the murk, and I can see in the edge like this white line. It's horizontal like this, and then the white line gets narrow, and then it disappears, and then I see the nose, and I'm like, oh shit, it's coming, like coming fast, and like I see the nose, and next thing I know, it's beside me. Like I mean, like in about like this time frame, it's like I see the white line. What is that? Where'd it go? Oh shit! It's a nose. It's here beside me, and I'm like, oh my!
And it just swam what, above you?
No, it swam beside me. Like it veered off the last second, so it's coming in, and it just like does this right at the last second and passes like 5 feet from me, and just disappears.
And that was it. Did you see it again? Did it circle?
No,
back?
I never saw it again. That was all I got of it. Is I saw its belly because I was underneath it, right? So I saw its belly like as it's cruising by, and I think it saw me, and then it didn't know what. I don't know. I can't explain the thought process behind the shark, but I know I physically saw it turn sideways and come at me, and then just give me a flyby, and then as fast as
what, like 10 feet away from you or so.
Yeah, I could see every detail of the shark. So, I mean,
Man,
Yeah.
how big do you think it was?
Top of his dorsal fin to the bottom of his pec fins was about as tall as me.
Yeah, it's insane. I'm out on that. So you're at 80 feet when you saw it. Did you go back? Did you go down to 130 and shoot that Cubera?
No, actually, I got out. Nick, buddy Nick was actually on the same dive as me, and I like, so when I see it come beside me, like I look at it and it's past me, so I look around for Nick and I can't see him. Like I look around, like where is he? Because they were following me down. They had hit some PRs that day following me, and so they were kind of like we had two guys on top. One person would follow me down to depth, and then I was kind of helping them get to their PR depths, and I was looking around for him. I started grunting like crazy. Like, I don't know where you're at, but good luck. You're on your own, buddy. I don't want to do this fish.
Yeah, I'm probably calling it for the day if that's end of the day and I'm on a wreck. Like, I'm good.
No, I got back on the boat. I literally got on the boat. Like, I didn't even load my gun. I just threw my gun on the boat, hopped in the boat, and was like, yeah, I'm out. It's a great white. They're like, what? I said, I wouldn't mess with her. I know you want to see her, but she's hot. She's fired up. I don't know. I'm out. Fuck you. I'm done. Leave me alone. And then, like, they're still trying to dive. And then I was like, all right. I get on the boat and I'm taking a leak and I look over and there's this big loggerhead turtle. I'm like, hey guys, there's a turtle like 50 yards that way if you want to go mess with it. Everybody takes off. They get like halfway and they're like, wait a minute. Didn't you just say there's a great white in the water? I was like, yeah. That's what I said. If you want to go mess with it, it's right over there.
Yeah. Man,
I don't want nothing to do with it.
I'm calling it after that. I'm all good on great whites. But well, man, on a serious note, I know we talked about I don't know how to say it, but a body recovery. You literally recovered a dead body in it was in Pensacola Bay.
Yeah, it was in Big Sabine, I think it's what it's called, in between Perdido and Pensacola. Yeah, it was at the time he wasn't really a good friend of mine. Now he is. It was a buddy of mine, his son. I don't know the exact story, but he had somehow fallen off a boat or jumped off a boat and he didn't come up. And we were basically, he put a post out and was like, hey, can somebody come help? And the rescue divers wouldn't get in the water till daybreak. And so I was like, I'm coming. I don't care. I'll get in. And we ended up spending a few hours looking for him. I think we found him like right at midnight.
Yeah. And so basically, someone had, like, you getting in and recovering the body gives the family closure. And who knows if they waited till daybreak, what happens with the tide or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just a lesson. Anytime you're on a boat, I take it for granted. Like, you got to be careful. You can fall off. You can hit your head. If you jump off when the boat's moving, very dangerous.
People don't realize the water's no joke. I mean, if something happens in the water, you can't just wake up.
Yeah. So, I know you told me that story before, and I think it's, it's brave of you to get in at midnight in the complete darkness and, do that work and give your friend some closure. But
yeah, it's one of those things. Like, somebody, like, I don't have kids, but everybody talk about them and knowing what is it? Not knowing what happened to him, right? There's like 400 boats out looking for the dude, and nobody's getting in, but nobody has the capabilities, to jump in and look for him. And it wasn't deep. It was like 12 foot. But still, like, you send scuba divers down, or you could, I think we're more efficient free diving in the grand scheme of things. Right, especially at that depth.
You can cover a ton of ground. Yeah.
Yeah, we can move a lot faster. We can move more efficiently for the most part, and we're not limited to time. Right? Yeah, they can spend an hour down there, but like I said, I spent, I think 2.5 hours in the water looking for him that night.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, this buddy of ours, or acquaintance of mine, he's good friends with my friend. He ended up locating him on the sonar, but he wasn't 100% sure. And then he called me over, and we were actually working our way towards him. We had essentially started a grid looking for him because we had the track of where the boat went, and then they had hit like the MOB button after he jumped. And so I basically had dropped the buoy on the MOB and put our boat, on the track. And I was just doing, the U pattern search up and down it. And I was about 200 feet from it. And he said, "Hey, I think I got him." And so we went over there, and sure enough, it was him. Ended up, calling father and saying, "Hey, I found him." So,
yeah. Man, it's tragic. Can't think any much worse than that. But you're a good man for doing that. Well, man, I wanted to wrap it up with you kind of talking about the Southeast Spearfishing tournament, and kind of give the listeners some. Yeah, look, actually, I got the shirt on myself.
I was gonna put that shirt on, but I decided not to.
Yeah, we could have been matching.
I running a little late, so I got a Noah shirt on. Uh-oh.
You're okay.
But yeah, it's basically it's a tournament. It's supposed to be a friendly tournament. So it's a friendly year-long tournament. Basically, you can shoot from North Carolina to Texas, so that would be the Atlantic and the Gulf Coast. Scuba diving and free diving. You don't compete against each other. You compete against, if you're scuba diving, you compete against scuba divers. If you're free diving, you compete against free divers. The tournament starts February 15th and it ends December 15th. The theory behind it is it's a good way to meet new divers. And also, like, everybody goes out diving all the time and they shoot these giant fish. And there's not really, you don't get anything for it, right? You get a couple pictures, what have you, all this other stuff. The previous owner and actually the previous owners before them had the idea that, why don't you get recognition for it of some kind, like when you shoot these giant fish, right? So basically put it out there to let kind of everybody, I say compete is the way to put it against each other. And you get a kick-ass trophy and a prize from a sponsor. It's a minimum of $400. Like, we got guns, pole spears. Actually, before I purchased the tournament, me and my partner Ian, I want to say a huge shout out to Ian. He's been for the backbone of this so far, because I'm working offshore and there's not a lot I can do out there. They limit us on the internet. But last year I won a Koa pole spear, their carbon pole spear, phenomenal pole spear. But that was a prize last year, and it's another prize this year. I've won floats, guns, all kinds of stuff. So it's just they say a friendly tournament. Like I said, the trophies are the kind of the best thing, in my opinion. It's what I always competed for. I didn't care about the prize. I care about the trophy. Let me grab one second. Hold on. Give me 30 seconds. Yeah. Sorry about that. I was kind of put on the spot. I didn't even think about this. Good. But like this is like a red snapper trophy.
Heck yeah.
Yes. Basically.
Are those new this year?
Do what?
Are those new this year?
No, they've been a part of it. Last year, the owner didn't do it. He did tumblers. But yeah, this is every year. If you win a category, you win one of these. If you win, it'll be of your fish. So this is red snapper 2023 or 2023. And then every year, like I said, it'll be something different, whether it be glitter or, it'll be something like this. So I've got amberjack, mangrove, and red snapper for the previous years. We have top dog too, if you want to go for it, which is if you're you shoot the most, the most amount of inches. So our tournament's inches based. We send you a tape measure, shirt, hat. When you submit a fish, you have to measure the fish. So we don't do weight, right? So you can video it. You do start at the tail, the fork length, all the way to the nose. And then if you have the most inches and the most species, you get what's called top dog. And that is it's a bigger trophy. It's 36 inches by 36 inches. And so we haven't decided exactly on what it is yet. It's going to be a surprise.
And then some killer prizes too.
Yeah, like I said, you get the trophy, the prize, shirt, hat. So it's $100 if you sign up. We actually have a discount code right now. It's 40% off anybody that signs up now. So it's only $60. But again, you can only win one category and then top dog. So there's technically 31 people that are going to win something because there's 31 categories. Yeah. And then you get, top dogs. We did Calcuttas this year, which weren't that great. A lot of people didn't understand the concept behind the Calcutta, but it's basically, if you think you're going to shoot the biggest fish, you pay cash or money towards it. and then whoever shoots the biggest fish wins the whole pot for the most part. So they were $25 for any species. So if you wanted to do, so like if I was competing, I would put it in for red snapper, spearfish, free dive.
Yeah.
And so let's say 8 of us put in, the $25 for red snapper. Whoever won the red snapper would win, the
cash. The side
you
pot.
win the $200 cash.
Yeah.
And then we also did like mini tournaments. This year we did 3 of them. We did a grouper for black grouper, and we did what did we do? We did a sheep's head, a black grouper opener. We were going to do red snapper opener for the Atlantic coast, but we ended up messing it up. So we did another when gag opened, we did a week-long gag mini tournament. The prizes for those, the sheep head and the grouper, were cash money. We did, I think $200 for first place in those. So you get first place scuba and first place free dive. I think each got $200. And then second place got $100. And then for this one, we gave away sword knives and power heads for the shark problem.
Heck yeah.
We gave away 357 power heads from Bill's Bang Sticks. They're like $120, $130. And so each first place got those. Second place got sword dive knives.
Heck yeah.
And like I said, it's something we've been a part of for 5 years now, and it's just a fun tournament.
It's a super cool tournament. It's a great idea, and it gets people together, gets people to dive safe. I'm sponsoring the my favorite fish, the amberjack.
There you go. So again, we'll figure out what Joe's going to give you here. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I know. We gotta talk about that.
We'll figure it out.
So,
like I said, I've won everything from like custom spear guns. So, like some of our sponsors this year that I'd like to shout out are like Ocean State Spear Guns. They're killer products. Like I said, they're free dive only. Guns.
They're up in my neck of the woods, man. Rhode Island, I think.
Yeah, they're awesome. Like I said, and then we got locals down here in the Panhandle that. We got Pirate Forge knives. They make custom fillet knives. I actually have one of his, I say EDC knives. Where's it at? Oh boy,
We can put a link in the bio. We'll
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I was going to show off some of the stuff
and a link to some of your sponsors so people can check them out.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Like I said, I got the Pirate Forge. We've got reliable fish bags. Like Mangrove Marine for if you're scuba diving. There's all kinds of marine fab. They build anything from Viking tuna tubes to switch panels to whatever. Like there's all kinds of stuff that are just solid quality prizes. And like I said, just try to make it a friendly tournament and just make it something that everybody can enjoy.
Yep.
Throughout the year, and it's being year long. It's not like you're having to kill yourself. You just go out diving like you normally would. Bring a tape measure.
Yep.
When
does it start again?
February 15th.
And it ends
December 15th.
Okay, so it's coming up here, but it's not if you have some big dive trips planned, it's not too late to sign up at the discount, and you're probably going to get a prize worth more than your buy-in.
One thing, especially if you free dive, you have like a 50-50 chance of winning something if you're free diving.
Yeah.
There's 16 species for free dive. And I think I don't even think we have less than 40, I believe, signed up.
Okay.
So as long as you're
signed up, I got to bring the dang tape and start measuring some fish.
Yeah, that's as long as you you can only win one category. And some people hate it, some people love it. But the reason that is you have guys that can clean the board on, 8 categories. And
right.
They're going to win 8 prizes. Well, if 150 people sign up, and one dude wins 8 prizes. I get it. You shot a bunch of these giant fish. That's cool. Go for top dog. You know what I mean? And then, and again, we try to share the love, especially with these trophies. These trophies aren't cheap. And, if somebody gets 8 trophies, that's cool. But again, we kind of want to share the love with everybody. Yeah. And that way, again, it keeps people coming back. Like I said, that's the only reason I purchased this tournament was the trophies. To try to keep that going, because I know the first time I saw them, I was like, "Yeah, that's a cool trophy." Yeah. I'll pay the money for that because if you think about it, if you were to go buy this trophy from Alabama Burning, he's one of our sponsors as well. I want to say it's like almost a $300 trophy. It's $100 for the tournament.
Yeah. So you're
You
getting
you get this hat, the shirt Joe's wearing, a set of Neritic gloves, a tape measure, and a 50. If you're free diving, a 50-50 chance of winning a trophy, a $300 trophy plus a $400 prize.
Yeah.
Depending on the species. Like Benthic Ocean Sports, or sorry, Destin Spearfishing sponsors sheephead freediving. You get a custom carbon 75 gun.
Man, I should have rolled some big sheephead in Louisiana 2 weekends ago. There were some hammers.
Yeah, you'd have got a custom cuttlefish 75. They're killer little guns. I actually have an aluminum version right over there that I love. And like I said, there's Reefer Spear Gun. He's another local custom builder. Killifish Foundation is doing red snapper scuba. That'll be some swag and a knife. So, in red snapper free dive is a Pirate Forge knife.
And where's the where's the award ceremony going to be?
There is not one. That's been one of the big things. That's one of the major changes with it being the entire Southeast, Texas, North Carolina.
Yeah.
You're not going to get 100 plus people to just all show up, and so
and even when it was just Florida, I don't know how many people could actually make the ceremony.
No, people again. There's a lot of people take it extremely seriously. There's a lot of talking, and then it'll be, I'm not coming because of this or that, or I'm not going to drive 8 hours. Because like for me, being in the northern part of Florida, the
going to Miami is a 12-hour drive. Yeah, 10-hour drive.
Yeah. The ceremonies were 8 hours away from me, and if you live in the Keys, it was 8 hours from the Keys. So. Like, I'm not going to drive 8 hours for a ceremony and then you have to get a hotel, all that stuff. So we basically, we're doing it this year is if you sign up next year, when we ship your tournament, if we ship all of your stuff to you,
you'll
free.
send the gifts or the awards.
I'll send the trophy, all that stuff, prizes. The sponsors handle all that. So we do the trophies and we'll send you the trophy. If not, it's probably like a $6 shipping to get your trophy.
Yeah.
So, and it's
that makes sense.
$106 or with taxes and everything for the tournaments, you paid $120. And you got
ideally, man, if there's people in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, wherever who are listening, they ought to sign up. Louisiana.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is getting people to because everybody thinks it's like this big scam. Oh, you don't know what you're gonna win. It's like, no, it's been a tournament in Florida for a long time. It slowly started to die. And we kind of open it up to help to bring it back to life.
Yeah, to rejuvenate it, get more people, more money. Yep.
And also like the chasing some of the fish in Florida is extremely difficult. And I know there's better fisheries in Florida in other states.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say which ones. I'm not gonna highlight an area to let it get ruined or what have you, or everybody go there. But there's great fisheries in other places, and I think that there's divers out there that can give these Florida guys a run for their money, especially for top dog or for top free dive team.
And also you can be strategic. Like Florida's got a great fishery, but certain times of the year it might be better to go other places.
Yeah, elsewhere to go target fish, especially if you're looking for giants. And that's kind of another reason we opened it up. And myself personally, I travel from Texas to South Florida to dive. And again, I want to dabble and go up the East Coast. I want to check. I know there's some cool stuff in Georgia. I want to go check out, and South Carolina, and even North Carolina. I want to start, dabbling up there. And so, and again, if basically just kind of open it up to everybody.
Yeah,
I know divers. I know a bunch of people that live in Georgia. They drive down to Jacksonville, and they're like, "Why? I got to drive, down to Jacksonville to compete in this tournament."
Yeah,
open it up. Okay, it's open. Have at it. You can shoot it anywhere, basically. And I didn't want to encroach. Sorry, I said we didn't want to encroach on the tri-state area, the tri-state skin divers. They have a tournament. That's why we didn't go any.
And that's once you get past North Carolina, it's kind of like a totally different fishery too.
Yeah. And again, that's kind of our thought behind it. So
yeah, heck yeah, man. Well, I'll put the link to the tournament in the bio. So if you're listening, you can click it and go ahead and sign up. I know I'm obviously in it this year, and I'm going to sign up for sure next year.
Get you a cool trophy, man.
Yeah, next year I'm hoping I can do. I didn't do all that much diving this year. Is a busy year, but next year I'm hoping to get it.
You only need one trip, man, and don't worry, you still got 3 months.
I know we gotta get something locked in for early December.
You say we can definitely.
Yeah, we'll do it. So, well, Chad, man, I really appreciate it. Thanks for doing podcast number 4 and get me rolling here.
Yeah, man. Like I said, anytime. So like I said, I always enjoy the conversation. I think when you come, you got a bunch of stuff in store. Like I said, actually tomorrow I get a set of reefs permitted, and then I think next week they're going to hit the water. So
heck yeah, maybe that could be our next video. We could film that or dive it, or actually no. Before we go here, next video is going to be Chad shooting a world record snapper on a pole spear, or maybe me.
Yeah, I'll let you get after it, buddy.
No, we'll both dive. We'll see who gets a bit. Money's on you, though. And then to end it, once you're warmed up, we're going to go. Chad goes 180 feet. We'll have like 3 safeties, and
we'll see what happens.
When you make your dive, I'll wait like 2 minutes, and then I'll dive down the spot.
Boy. No, it ain't going to be that bad. No, we'll see what happens. I hope
So make sure to subscribe to the channel to see Chad go 180.
Yeah. I was more hyped about the reef making.
But
yeah.
All right, guys.
Hopefully I can make it. Hopefully you'll see this little white watch come up with a big 180 on it, and hopefully I'm holding the fish. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, you can do it. All right, guys. Well, appreciate the support, and if you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We got a lot more coming.